I I think I'm live. My camera was just going a little wonky on me, but I think I'm. In fact, while I'm gonna tamper with it. Let's just see. No, no, better this way. Ah, I'm gonna try to. I think that's a little better. Yeah, there was some issue at with my camera a minute ago. I'm not sure what was going on, but I seem to be live now. Only a minute or so behind. Um, Hopefully, it's weird. I was trying to sign in before and I couldn't, so I got out, jumped back into this one. Good. Superblix is here. Superblix, good evening. Thank you for joining us. How's the picture quality on my camera tonight? And there's not another post of me somewhere on YouTube right now that says that I'm live, is there? My vlog is everywhere. Says hi Pawns and hi Zoop. Sister Sarah, it's always amazing seeing you here on my channel or pretty much anywhere else. So yeah, picture quality okay, guys. Um, Zuplex says pretty good. Well, from you, Superplex, that is good. um, Sister Sarah says she'll share me out. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Letty's here, looking good, Bob. You're always looking good, Mr. Letty. Danny's here, says greetings from South Carolina. Hello today. Yes, I caught you on Lobos Griss's live chat. So glad you could make it, Danny. Sister Sarah says glad to be here, and Zublik says back to the Mrs. Glasses. They're the best set of cheaters that I own. They don't really go with the ensemble, but I go more for results. And hey, it's a look, do what I can. And Daryl Johnson is here. Other brother, good to see you. He says, I can see you and can hear you. Good to go. Well, as far as a live chat goes, that's the two best things one could hope for, to be seen and heard. Christopher Wilkinson is here. He says, good evening, Bob. Good evening to you, Chris. So glad you could make it. Chance is here. The Nostalgic Podblast says, hi, Thrasher. Hi, Chance. Were you guys not on last night, or did I miss it? I ended up crashing anyway. So, crashing as in going to bed, not as in crashing as in catastrophic system failure. But when I checked, I didn't see anything in the way of a live chat from any of you folks. BK on the air says, hey, Retro Pals. Barry, so great to see you. And you know what? We got to make sure that Retropalooza 8 is not nearly as far off in advance as the gap between 6 and 7. Thank you for the leak, Danny. Again, give links to Barry, Chance, Sister Sarah, and anyone else who wants one. Keith Ease here says, congratulations on your other live feed. There is another live feed. Drat, and Double Drat. Is it actually showing anything? I thought I signed out of it. That's crazy. Congratulations, I'm on your other live. This is. I don't see how it could. Cause I even disconnected the camera and everything. Oh well, this is weird. John Dozier says greetings, Thrash. Let's just see. Just a lot of people saying hello to one another. Thank you, Sarah, for the link. Chances they were on Brain Bender's Banta. I had a date. I skipped a week across the board. Well, more than understand. That explains why I didn't see. I didn't notice Chrissy on last night either. But again, maybe I don't know. Either way, maybe I would check before they went on. Tracy Zero says hello all. Gary Benjo Sandwich Worthington is here. Benjo Sandwich, so good to see you. Welcome to the party. Let's just see. Oh, Indy Spouts is here. He says, signed in through your channel, didn't get a notification. Thankfully for you, I'm stubborn. Good news is that your video feed is slightly less foggy than the slime people. Now, there's a reference. That is an excellent reference, by the way. We would also accepted green slime or alligator people. And the reason it's slightly less hazy, by the way, is because it's starting to get darker earlier. That haze you see right here, that's the sun shining through my sliding glass door, the one I paid a lot of money for. David Series says, hi. John Doe says, it's showtime. Keithy says, I just put a message that this is not the right feed and to go find the right one. Well, Keith, if you're on this one is the right feed. I don't know what that happened to me once before. It wasn't letting me on. So I went out, came back in. But if you're here, you're in the right one. Chances Chrissy was on part 3 of Classic Rock. Oh yeah, that how many parts could that have? John Doe says, I'm kind of looking forward to the WWE SummerSlam. Oh, a few Savage Pals here. He says, hello. Please either Sarah or Jenny drop a link for Savage Pals. And Keith says nobody else is on that other feed. Hopefully it'll close down after I lift. Oh, that's actually probably what happened. I was trying to go live. I hadn't yet. You jumped in, and that was keeping it going. But strange. But anyway, I'm glad you made it to this one, and thank you for letting people know. Indy says, "Hey DJ, Daryl Johnson, I'm assuming." And Dominic D here says, hey, Bob. Hey, all. Hello to you, too. Dominic D, so great you could be here. Gary Carpenter says, hi, sorry I'm late. I was a couple minutes late tonight anyway, by the way. I only just got the show up and going, so you are right on time. Troll Eugene Bellinger here says, happy Sunday, fun day, Thrash. July has been very rough so far. So many celebrity passings, and now Biden dropping out of the race. I think he did the right thing. I have a goofy feeling, guys. I think he's very ill. More ill than he realized. That may have had something to do with it. And I am so busted up about Bob Newhart. That was a heavy casualty. Keith E. also said, you're also showing 2 thumbnails. Yeah, that was probably from the... it's the same thumbnail. I just couldn't get on for some reason. And thank you for the link, Sarah. And a lot of people saying hello to one another. Chances, my vlog is everywhere. She certainly is. John Doe says, did you ever see YouTuber the White Elephant? The White Elephant? No, I haven't. I'll have to check him out. And he says, hey, K-Dub. And my vlog says, hi, sweet Chance. Missed you, brother. Yes, don't we all? And hope your date went well, though, at least. And David says, went to a movie called Despicable 4. How was that? And, Crapshoot Creations here says, big high five. Big high five to the live. I made it. Big high five to the live. Love it. And please, a link to Crapshoot Creations. Danny says, I don't feel great this week either, LOL. I'm sorry, Danny. I'm sorry if you're not feeling good. Chan says, there will be a CBS primetime special remembering Bob Newhart on Paramount Plus 2, I assume. Hopefully. The man started out as a stand-up comedian in the early 60s. So that's, 70 years ago? Crazy. Actually, no. 60 years ago. But again, the man was like 90, and 90 something or other. And John says, I'm watching The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle on Me TV Tunes. Thanks for the interview you gave me, by the way, Me TV Tunes. It was a riot. Dave says, great and funny. Love the Minions. I'm glad you liked the movie. Indy says, what flavor of trivia are we tasting tonight, Bob? Funny you should ask. Mrs. Thrash gave me a gift when she was out shopping. It was another movie magazine with all kinds of movie tidbits and information. One thing, though, it was famous TV and movie romances. So, yeah, it's a romance-themed entertainment trivia tonight. And no. Before you guys start bailing on me, I picked ones that are the most mainstream as possible, and you'll see what I mean when I start listing them. Trust me, I'd seen a lot more than I had thought to. but it should be fun. And Zublik says 60. Yeah, as soon as I think I carried the one twice 60 years ago. And Tracy says, I hope that you and Mrs. Pons are doing good. We are doing good. Thank you very, very, very much. And I hope you're doing well too, Tracy. Thank you for the link, Sarah. And Tracy says, catchy comedy is playing Newhart all weekend. All the original Newhart show, the one set in Chicago, that one was great. Although I love the one set in Vermont too. Dominic D says he had that famous telephone routine in his comedy act. Oh, I that was like some of his best bits. And they worked that into the show on the Newhart show. There was always some reason why he'd be on the phone. His phone delivery was just amazing. Dominic D says he had the famous. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Keith D says, I always heard that Bob Newhart started out as an accountant. Maybe that might be. Yeah, there's a oh, and John Doe says the White Elephant does a mocktail ice cream float milkshakes among others. Ooh, sounds delicious. Gary Carpenter says, I'm sorry I was late. I was watching the mighty Century sightings of dogmen in several states. Whoa! Huh. And Chance just jumped off the page, but we'll catch him. All of these web articles about Bob Newhart as a star of Big Bang Theory. Yes, but that's not his best work. Clearly, the web writers were born in like 2005. I know, right? Dominic says Bob Newhart's sister was a sister. She was a nun. Very good. Very good. Like wordplay there. And Teb says, in retrospect, Bob Newhart, 1980 to 1990 sitcom, CBS sitcom, Newhart was more remembered for two things that he than the actual show. In the finale, and Larry, his brother Daryl, and his other brother Daryl. That finale is considered one of the best finales in TV history. They even lampooned it in Malcolm in the Middle slash Breaking Bad, but it's considered one of the best endings in TV history. And Gary Carpenter says Biden dropped out. Harris has stepped in. Yes, Biden has stepped down. I think for health reasons. Chan says so. Bob Newhart was Catholic. Dominic D. Yes, he was, and I don't know how I know that, but yes, he was. And Tracy says yes, original. And Danny says Big Bang Theory is the only show he ever won the Emmy for. That's why Chance. He won an Emmy for Big Bang Theory. I did not know that. John Doe says I can send one. Then, if you want to, can check out his channel. Not a bad idea. Please do. Please do. Thank you very much. Thank you for the link, Sister Sarah. WD's agreeing. Gary Cameron says yes, Keithy. They said he was a good one. And he says to Gary Carpenter, watching 1 hour of TV about dogmen is the equivalent of watching 7 hours about humans. Too funny. And Chin says, cool to Dominic D. Thanks for the anecdote. And John says, what studio did better movies in the 80s, 90s, Troma or Full Moon? I've seen Full Moon productions, but I'm going to have to go with Troma. Surf Nazis Must Die. What is it? Nymphoid in Dinosaur Hell. Brogu's here, says hello, everyone. Hello to you too, Brogu. Thank you so much for joining us. Sarah says, got you on my TV puns. You are so famous. Oh, thank you. Tracy says, please, I come here for fun, not politics. Good point. Good point. And Gary Carpenter says, Teb, I found a weird video of Bob Newhart called Off the Record. It should be good. Sounds humorous. And Chance says, agreed, Tracy, fractured history and more. Yes. We do feel bad for the president, but that's not made this about politics. Again, not our culture. Cindy D says, hello, everyone. Hello to you too, Cindy. So glad you could make it. Big guys, fatty. 20 hours a day. Big guy 25 this year says, hi there, and hello to you too. A lot of people saying hello. Oh, good afternoon. Good late afternoon, everybody. You too. Big guys. And a lot of people saying hi to Cindy D. He says, oh my gosh, you almost caught up the. Yes, I did almost caught up the. And Chance says, my bald spot grew over the weekend. Angela McCardles here says, hello, everyone. Angela, so glad you could make it. Welcome to the party. We're going to be doing trivia in about 15 minutes, and it's going to be on famous TV, well, related to famous TV and movie romances. And I use mainstream ones, so even if you're not a big fan of romantic cinema, everyone should do fine. Cindy is saying hello to everybody. And John Doe says, Barbarian Nymphoid on Dinosaur Hell, no class of Nukem High, Toxic Avenger, or Sachi Kabuki, man, NYPD. Thank you for helping me. I knew I was missing a noun in there somewhere. Barbarian Nymphoid in Dinosaur Hell, which is actually a surprisingly good movie. And it was filmed in New Hampshire. In fact, a little trivia here. It was filmed in New Hampshire. Has a coastline of about 5 miles. It's wedged between southern Maine and Massachusetts North Shore. And it was filmed there. And of course, Toxic Avenger and Nukem High. I'm sure I saw it. I don't quite remember it. And Sergeant Kabuki Man was cute too. So yeah, I liked pretty much all of Trauma's cult cinema. And that question mark is like I'm guessing response. Yes, so Toxic Avenger definitely. Subject Kabuki Men was also very good. And I don't recall Class of Nukem High. I'm sure I saw it. I'm sure I saw it, but like I said, I don't particularly recall it at this juncture. Gary Carpenter says, I found some old Hercules cartoons that came out before I was born. Hercules, hero of fame and glory, Hercules. I actually had a basset hound named Roger, and I took that song and changed it to be more basset hound appropriate with the strength of 10 ordinary basset hounds. And I was a strange kid. Even stranger adult. So let's see. But yes, Gary, I believe those are the ones you were in reference to. He had a friend who was a centaur. He was the centaur piece of the cartoon, whose name was Newton, I believe. Gary Cooper says, "Who's going to bail out on you?" No one would ever bail out on me or bail me out. Teb says, William Sanderson, Larry of Larry Darrow and Darrow from Newhart, was Blade Runner, Deadwood, and True Blood. He retired from acting a couple of years ago. Yes, I believe he was also in. He played one of the bad guys in that made-for-TV miniseries about Andersonville some years ago. He was one of the Raiders, I believe, but he was actually very, very good in Blade Runner. And of course, in Newhart. Cindy D says we should have a Bob Newhart trivia. Newhart was so good. Julia Duffy said hi was her best his was the best experience of her working and learning from him. She was so popular. She replaced Jennifer Holmes. I remember that. I like Jennifer Holmes, but frankly, I think Julia Duffy, a little more three dimensional. I think a little bit more to the character. By the way, and I actually have a couple of good Bob Newhart. I won't say anything because I love that idea. I'm gonna see what I can do, but I'll get back to you on that. Gary Carpenter says he's a good actor. He certainly was. John Doe says, I never seen Fatty Drives the Bus, first Trauma movie. I've never even heard of that one. So thank you. I'll look that up. I bet it's on YouTube. And Keith E said, like 14. 14 for 14. Only 14 people watching that? Ah. Come on, I'd like to get at least 20 something, closer to 30. Although I bet Lobo Gris. Tell me something, Denny. Is Lobo Gris still on his own live chat, by the way? He told me once ages ago, when you go on my live chat, I go on for hours. I also want to do not a collab. We have to get something together like a in the spirit of Retropalooza, where we do some crossovers, like with Chance and Chrissy, and do like a big Live Stream Palooza. I'll call it something different though. It's a little too close to Retro Palooza. Angela says Barbarian Nymphoid in Dinosaur Hell. Never heard of it. Sounds interesting. It's like Teenage Caveman. It takes place after an atomic war, and it's a post-apocalyptic setting. But the radiation has caused dinosaurs to come back, and it's also loosely based on the Dark Tower. And it's this young couple and their adventures therein. But it's actually surprisingly good. Um, in fact, I think the alternate title was Dark Tower. Yeah. Troma took it. The guy who ran Troma, I can't think of his name. He goes, no, 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 no. Dark Tower's not going to sell. You have to call it something interesting, like Barbarian Nymphoid and Dinosaur Hell. Tracy said, I just loved Suzanne Plachette. Who couldn't? How could you not? Gary says, Tracy, I do too. She was great in some of those Disney movies. She certainly was. Oh, the one with all the dachshunds. So it says, who played the two Daryls? I used to know that one. I used to know that. One of them was a big actor before he did it. He was in Stripes and Joystick and a bunch of other early 80s light comedies. Dominic D says Johnny Nash, who sang I Can See Clearly Now, sang the theme song to the Hercules cartoon. That that's an awesome trivia. Thank you. That is great. Oh, I love that. And Gary Garber says, Dom, is that who is singing the theme song? Yeah, I was going to say, I'm as blown away as you are. I never knew that. I can hear it now, but I never knew that. Indy Spout says, William Sanderson played A.P. Hill in Gods and Generals. Are you thinking of that, Bob? Played A.P. Hill in Gods and Generals. No, this was a made-for-TV movie. William H. Macy plays a Confederate staff officer who ends up doing an inspection of the Andersonville prison. I'm racking my brains to think who else might have been in it. But it's actually about some of the day-to-day affairs, and one of them is the raiders who kind of they would like plunder new prisoners to get their goodies so that they can have a better quality of life. They were actually tried. I believe it was a famous Massachusetts lawyer who was stuck in Andersonville at the time, pled their case unsuccessfully, I'm afraid. But and it was that Swiss jerk who volunteered for the Confederate Army who ran Andersonville. But thank you, Indy, because I did second guess myself there or double check in here. John Doe says, but I do like classic Full Moon. They gave us a Ghoulies. I do like a Full Moon. I've seen Full Moon movies. I think I even have a couple. And Broga says hello to everyone. And CDD says Henry Mancini did the Newhart theme song. That would have made a very good trivia. I did not know that. And Danny says, yep, he's still on. Me? I'm still on? Or is something else? Oh, Lobo Gris is still on. Wow, because he started at like 4 o'clock. Holy cow. I just jumped, but that's because a lot of people just popped in. I'm gonna here we are. Gary says, Z, I've forgotten who they were. A lot of people saying hello to each other. Keith says Johnny Nash was married to somebody famous, but I can't remember who. Teb says Julia Duffy is now one of the last surviving cast members from Newhart. She was actually going to star in season 1 before being promoted as a main series regular for the rest of the series. And she plays Diane's cousin in an episode of Cheers, and she's very funny in that too. She says, I miss Emily and Lance. Yes, shout out to I actually talked to Lance earlier today on Facebook. I thought he was going to make it. Emily might have had to work tonight, but either way, shout out to both of you, gang. Henry Mancini did What's Happening also. That's a good factoid. Dominic D. Indy says he may have been in Andersonville in '96. I don't recall. And Gary Carpenter says, Dom, he did. I just love the Pink Panther theme. Dun, 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 dun. Music and fun, etc., etc., etc. Is here says, good morning, evening, everyone, etc., etc. Good evening to you too. Please, Danny or my flock, give us a link. Few Savage Pals. I'm sure they've already got a link to you, Savage Pals. But a Few Savage Pals says, "Oh, hello to him." Zendwayne is here. Zendwayne. So nice to have you with us. His centaur's name was Newton, and he had a friend named Toot, who was a satyr. I don't remember the satyr, but I do remember a Newton. He had a catchphrase, something like simple like it's me," or something like that. But yeah, I do remember that cartoon. I used to watch it as discussed. But Zendwayne, welcome to the party. Angela says, "I thought the movie was Damnation Alley was interesting. We'll have to check out the dinosaur one." Um, Damnation Alley was cool, although the book is better. Um, but I do like the movie. And Teb says Jennifer Holmes, who played Leslie's cousin Stephanie, left after season one, while Steve Campman, who played Kurt, departed after season two. Yeah, with her gone, there was no reason to have Kurt. They married him off to another woman, but again, his character was superfluous, which was a pity because he played the perfect humorous pathological liar. I thought he was a great character. But to own their each. John Doe says, Rock the Dwayne Johnson did a trauma movie, but I forgot the title. That's great trivia. I did not know The Rock did trauma. And a lot of people saying hello to one another. My Flux says, I'm not feeling well. Later, everyone. Oh, Sister Sarah, I'm sorry not feeling well. I more than understand. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for dropping all the links. Thank you for just being you. You take care of yourself, Sister Sarah. As I promise you, better days ahead. We're just going to hang on until they get here. And Danny says, Tony Pappenfuss and John Volstad played Daryl and Daryl. Very good. Thank you, Danny. Mike Silva here says, Pawns watching Disney Plus right now. Hi, guys. Mike Silva, so great to see you. And he says, oh, yes, that was Andersonville. Thank you. Thank you. Mike Silva says, it's an ad. Cool. And CDD says, message retracted. Message retracted to you, too. Oh, and Tracy says, feel better, Sarah. Yes, definitely, please. And Teb says, correction. Jennifer Holmes played Stephanie's cousin, Leslie, in season one. Sorry, I got mixed up. I think I knew what you meant, but thank you. And Mike says, Captain Kirk. Zublix also says, get better to Sister Sarah, as does Angela. Jenny says, William Sanderson played Larry. Yes, he did. And played one of the Raiders in Andersonville. And Mike says, Batman seeing Catwoman for the first time. You feline devil. What have you done with Robin? And Dominic D says, hey, Mike. Oh, Esmeralda's here. Who just jumped off the page. But Esmeralda's here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to find you, Esmeralda. And says, hello, everyone, especially Thrash Pondapons. So good to see you again. Welcome back to the show, my lady. A lot of people saying hello to Esmeralda. Gary says, I'm Larry, and this is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. Love that bit. That just never got old. And John Doe says the Starship Enterprise is boldly going forward because it can't find reverse. And Esmeralda is saying hello to everyone. He says, I hated Kurt, but LOL, but Julia Duffy, Stephanie overshadowed Jennifer Holmes. Chatter, Thrash, I agree with you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got that, Cindy. And Gary says, S, that is my Samantha. And Christopher says, I saw Andersonville, Larry from Newhart was in it. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it. And Angela says, I can't find the book Damnation Alley. I looked. It's probably been out of print for 40 years. eBay would probably be your best bet. And Esmeralda says, actually, Esmeralda. Anthony says, Kurt, like Leslie, but fell for Stephanie. Oh, is that what happened? Okay. And oh, she ended up marrying Stephanie ended up marrying guy from Bosom Buddies, um Henry from Bosom Buddies, Peter Scolari, who we lost recently. Very sad. Oh, and Esmeralda is also saying goodbye to Sister Sarah, who, again, we really hope feels better. And Teb said, I'm sorry. Zublik says, "Is that guaranteed?" And um, it just about says, "Demolition Alley book was okay. Zelazny has stuff I like more. It's a shame Da was so bad it ruined his chance at other film adaptations." Isn't that the case? Isn't that the case? It's the same with Harry Harrison, because Soylent Green fared so poorly. They never tried to adapt another Harry Harrison book, even though East of Eden, it probably would have been West of Eden, sorry, tough to do then. But can you imagine if they tried to adapt West of Eden these days? It would be epic. Thank you for the link, Danny. Angela says, "Danny, I have Damnation Alley on DVD." Tim says, "Another correction. Stephen Campman played Kirk, not Kirk." Sorry if I got mixed up. I thought it was Kurt. And Gary says Peter Scolari married Stephanie on Newhart. Yes, there we go. And then Dwayne says Newton's catchphrase was "That's me, that's me." I knew it was something like that. Thank you, then Dwayne. I knew it was something like that. John Doe says Billy Bob Thornton didn't want to acknowledge his indie movies, so Trauma put his face on the cover of Biker Chicks in Zombie Town. Yes, he was in it. Really? I don't think I've seen that one. Gary Gummers, I haven't seen that movie. Is it good? Keith, he says 8 p.m. I'm only a couple minutes behind. In fact, I think I'm going to catch up. So Dwayne says, message retracted to you too. And oh, Angela, I'm almost there. Gary, the movie is corny but funny. Comes in huge fan of George Bard. Angela says, "Thanks, Thresh. I will look it up on eBay." Tug is here. Hey, Tug says, "On the road at the moment. Don't worry. I'm in the passenger seat, so I'll probably, so I probably can't stay. But I did want to pop in and say hi while I have enough cell service." Thank you so much, Tug. So great to hear from you. And Kirk made the Gorn feel reborn. Thank you, Tracy. Oh, Jake Hudson's here. Says like and share. Jake Hudson, so great to see you. Please, my flock, if you're still here, please give Jake a link. If not, oh, Tracy, you can do links too, and of course, so can Denny Staten. But he's been putting out some great material lately. Please check out Jake's channel. Keithy says, "Hello, Chuck. Good to see you." Tug series, busting your chops. Teb says, "Sadly, Peter Bunners is now the only last surviving cast member of the Bob Newhart show." Wow. And Gary says, "Angela, I haven't seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. Any ideas?" I like Breakfast at Tiffany's. Even the song. And Cindy says, "I love Peter and Tom Hanks in Bosom Buddies and Stephanie Mills. Theme song, Having a Friend Like You." Rumor has it that Tom Hanks sang My Life, not Billy Joel. It wasn't clear for the theme. I did not know that theme. And yes, I got it. Wow, I didn't know. I believe it was Billy Joel, but interesting. Gary Carpenter says he thinks Peter Bonzers is dead also. And Angela says, "Gary, Breakfast at Tiffany's is good. I just can't stand Mickey Rooney's character. A bit cringy, but other than that, that's an excellent movie." He's in yellow face, and he's not just in yellow face. He like really oversells it. It's they actually refer to it in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, where a date takes him to see Breakfast at Tiffany's because she thinks he'll think it's cute, and it's actually so not cute. And thank you for the link, Danny. And Dumpty says, "Marissa Wallace was very funny, and as a secretary in the original Bob Newhart show, yes, she was amazing. She was amazing." And John Doe says, "I love biker chicks in Zombie Town mainly because I did go out with a biker chick when I was in high school." That sounds like an amazing story. That sounds like a really awesome story. And Esmeralda says, "Breakfast at Tiffany's has such a stylish fashion. It certainly does." Christopher says Stephanie Mills used to be on Passions. I did not know that. Tug says, thank you to Danny. You rule. Gary Carpenter says, Dom, I had a huge fan of hers. She was really funny. I didn't like her on The Simpsons. And she did it for years too. And he says to Tug, so you're calling from the road to establish an alibi. I've seen too many Columbo episodes. It'll never work. As the book says, yeah, Mickey Rooney was way over the top attempt at physical comedy, and it did not work. I know, right, Zoop? Oh, and Peter Bonners is still alive. Oh, the Sci-Fi Century. Oh my God, Sci-Fi Century. Welcome to the show. We're about to start trivia in just a couple of minutes, but I want to thank you for being here. It says just stop by to say what up and keep chilling it. Sci-Fi Century, you keep chilling it too. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please stick around as long as you can. And Angela McCurl says, I honestly didn't realize it was Mickey Rooney when I first watched until years later. Danny says, I had a stroke Wednesday. I'm a little slow tonight. Just a minor stroke. Dude, why didn't you tell me? Oh my God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Diamond D says Marissa Wallace was always working up until the time she died. That was a good thing. It certainly was. A lot of people saying we're sorry to hear that. John Doe says there's a good documentary movie called 30 Blocks from Tiffany's about the 70 street gangs of the New York's, mainly in the Bronx. A lot of people saying to Danny they hope he feels better. He says he's okay. So glad to hear that. Cindy says Stephanie was supposed to play Dorothy in The Wiz. She played it in the role when she went to the older Diana Ross. I never knew that. I never knew that. John Doe says, "Get well soon." Definitely, definitely. A few Hotel says, "I'm ready for trivia." Me too. Just two more comments. Texas Indy, I've cleverly found a way to get my phone to ping towers very far from the crime scene. I mean, for my house. I don't know what you're talking about. Zed Dwayne says, what does everyone think about me TV tunes? Good, bad, or just okay? I don't have it yet. But John Doe's a huge fan, and some of the stuff he sent me is very, very good. I love they have a lot of old vintage cartoons, and they spotlight 80s vintage cartoons. So everything I've heard about it is good. And Danny says, I thought everyone knew I was talking about it on BB&B Live. I forgot you were probably not. I was working. I was working that night. I'm sorry I missed it. And John Doe says New York was better compared to today. And he says, Zuplex, oh my, someone else was around in the 70s, loved the music from then. Me too, me too. And Tree says, Cindy did Stephanie play Dorothy and the Wiz on stage. I think she said she did, but I'm not sure. And Zuplex says, it was a lot cheaper, yeah. And Garrett Carpenter says, I'm not sure, but someone else is hacking my phone and talking out some of my shows, and I don't know how to block it. So